did. I know years ago, they had big flat rocks in there, so it would wash it out. But maybe
Let's
they-
call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Take roll call. Supervisor Hyde. Here. Councilman Needham.
Here.
Councilwoman Akeley. Here. Councilwoman Harris.
Here.
Councilwoman Seaman.
Here.
Just the first thing is, I just wanted to get these three claims approved. Joe Groff for the pole rental for February for the white space pole, Albert Baker Medicare reimbursement, and Myrtle Bice Medicare reimbursement. You each have a abstract because they need to get their Medicare reimbursement every month, so they need it. And Joe likes his white space pole to be rented for the month. He likes the rent to be paid ahead, so we're always a little bit ahead. He wants the money before he rents the pole. So just like look at these are just vouchers.
Cynthia, did you prepare the whole reports that we were supposed to get? Well, the reports that we asked you to prepare whenever we have.
Right now, we're talking about claims. Do you have any questions on the claims?
Well, yeah, because I want to see where it is across for this month. And
Well, you were auditing the books tonight.
no, that's not the same thing. We know that.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, but
Cynthia,
Can I
at
get
the
a-
last board meeting, we asked for.
can I get a motion to get,
Are we going
to approve the claims on the floor so we can get these claims
Let's
finished?
discuss this.
I'll so move, because I believe these people need to get paid.
Do I have a second? I'll second it. I'll second it. Okay, do I
Now
have,
I'd like to
can
find
you
out,
call the roll on approving the
Cynthia,
claims, please?
we aren't finished discussing
Excuse me,
things.
you were discussing
We're
the claims.
discussing, yes, we are
Susan, can you
discussing
call
the
the roll on the
claims,
claims,
Cynthia.
please?
I'd like to take a roll call vote on paying the claims. Supervisor
No.
Hyde.
Yes?
We aren't finished discussing the
Councilman
claims, Cynthia. We aren't
Yes.
finished discussing them.
Councilwoman Akeley.
So we can't have a
Yes.
vote.
Councilwoman Harris.
What are you doing?
Calling the roll
Call
for
vote
paying
on
these
paying
claims.
the claims.
Okay, yes.
Yes, Councilwoman Seaman.
I'm going to abstain because I haven't been answered my questions.
Okay.
Okay, the next thing I'd like to do is call Pat Wood up and have him talk to us
Cynthia.
about the truck.
Before we do that, we are
We
going to
have an
discuss
agenda
an
that we're going to
issue.
follow.
Cynthia,
Mr.
yes, we
Wood,
are.
are you here?
We're
Can you come
going
up and
to
talk about the
discuss-
truck, please?
We're going to discuss where our things are, Cynthia.
Excuse me, Gail, we are talking about the truck.
Cynthia.
Thank you, Pat, come on up.
We haven't gotten
I
our,
gave them
We
Cynthia.
have a
I
special
gave
person
them,
to come and talk to us. Let's see
Cynthia.
if you're polite. Be polite.
come on
Joan,
up.
I don't
be
care.
polite and let me ask the
We're
question.
talking about the truck
Cynthia,
right
we're
now. Come on
talking
up, Pat.
about, Cynthia, we're talking
We're not
about
gonna-
the
you're
fact
not
that
running
we're
the
not.
We want to get this truck.
You're interrupting.
I'd like to make a motion.
Motion's already made.
No, there isn't a motion already made.
Yes, I made it.
No, you didn't.
To vote.
That was already done, this is a new motion.
Pat has
Now,
been asked to speak.
are we going to,
Would you let Pat talk, because he has to
are
go back
we,
home?
you know what, everybody has to go back home, dear. But we're going to have a few things, because we asked for certain items to be done for the meetings, and you haven't done them. So where are they, Cynthia?
Excuse me, we are here to talk about a truck, not
We
about
are,
some
no,
problem that
we
you
are
seem to
actually
be having
here to
with
talk
me.
about something else,
Pat.
and I'm wondering where those items are. So where are the
I guess we'll wait.
the
for Mrs.
revenues
Seaman to
and where
finish.
is the, Cynthia, this is your job. The resolutions were passed. You are to provide us with itemization of which expense code they're going to and where they're coming from, all along for each month. We haven't received those for January. So are you going to do those?
She would be an asshole.
Are you going to do those, Cynthia? Or are we going to have to get the attorney to compel you to do your job? Cynthia?
We're waiting.
I
So we
guess
can talk
we're
about the truck that
waiting,
here to
we're
talk
waiting
about.
for Cynthia to tell me where our expenses are. I guess it won't be such a problem, but if they aren't there for the February meeting, nothing will be passed. So if you don't, you've had ample time to prepare the monthly reports. There's been no monthly report for January. Where is the
Idiot.
monthly report? Cynthia?
In February.
Cynthia, have you...
January's not over, Gail.
When you do an audit, you usually make a monthly report out for the bills that need to be paid in January.
Here's your report on these bills. These are the only bills that are being paid in January.
Well, there were some bills that were paid, oh, that's another thing we need to discuss. You had asked before for me to prove that you had paid bills outside of the audit.
That's not why
This-
we're here right now.
Well,
We're
no,
here
but since
to
we're here and
approve
we're doing it,
purchase
we might
of
as
a
well take
truck,
care of it.
Gail.
Yep, and they're
We'd like
going
to
to,
get
but we might as well take
on
care of
with
this too. So as long as we're here, I'm gonna make sure that this is added, please, into the minutes and this sheet of paper. This is showing that Cynthia paid outside of an audit 2 checks. One for $2,700 and one for $4,640. They were paid on 12/20 and 12/26. They were not paid in the audit, they were paid on an audit dated the 28th. That means they were paid outside of an audited abstract. And Cynthia, can you please explain on a checking withdrawal ticket? $750 cash taken out on 12/2 and where it went. It's your signature on the withdrawal slip. Can you please explain where that money is?
No, Gail, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to
Oh,
talk
I'd
about
like
the
to know
truck.
where the money is.
We need to know where the money is because it
It's a
doesn't
special
appear.
meeting. It's not an annual, it's not a monthly meeting.
Any
Okay.
business that comes
We're
up
here
that
to
is
talk about
pertinent
the
that
truck.
needs to be discussed can be discussed at any special meeting because there is a quorum. Okay,
That's
so,
not true.
yes, it is true. And you
We're
did it
here to
regularly.
discuss the truck, and I'm sure that
And
everybody would like us to
Cynthia?
get to that.
Everybody would like an answer as to where that $750 is and what it was to. And why did you take cash out of an account?
Gail, I'm sorry, but we're not here to discuss this right
Cynthia,
now.
I need
We
to
are here,
ask where the
we have
money
an
is.
agenda right now to follow.
Right,
And
and we're
everybody
going to-
is waiting
We're
to follow
going
this
to ask
agenda.
this right at the moment. Just answer the question, that's all. You should be able to answer it easily. Where is it? Cynthia?
We're not having privilege of the floor, I'm sorry.
This is my tax money that's being spent. I would like my board member, who's asking my supervisor to
Winnie,
answer.
we are not having privilege of the
Cynthia.
floor
I
right
understand
now.
that. I would just like my
Winnie,
board
we
member.
are not having privilege of the floor
I
right
would like
now.
my board
Winnie,
member
we
to-
are not having privilege of the floor
Cynthia.
right now.
Please
I
don't
would
be
like my board
disrespectful.
member to be answered. By my
I'm
board
very
She isn't-
sorry,
she
Winnie,
isn't
we are
answering
not
me.
having
She
privilege
doesn't
of
need
the
to
floor
answer you
right now.
because
Of course
it's
she
not on the
does.
agenda. No, she doesn't.
Yes, she
What do you
does.
mean?
You get paid to find out information. Come and look it up.
No, I just did. And I'm finding out the information from the
Well, you have
horse's
the
mouth.
information then.
I want to know where the money
This
was.
is Seaman wants a fight, and I'm sorry,
No,
Mrs. Seaman, but I'm
Cynthia.
not gonna give you one, so you
Cynthia,
can just
I'm
give it
not
up.
asking-
Do you know where the
asking
Don't
money
talk to
went?
me.
Do you know, Joan, do you know where the money went?
Do you know where the money is and where it went?
I'm not getting in this. I will not argue with this
I'm
woman.
not asking.
I am not
I'm
going
not asking for
to
her.
interact with her because she has an agenda of her own and I'm not going to participate.
And
in
she
it.
also
It's a
does
town
not
agenda.
she also does not tell the truth.
Cynthia.
Half
It's a town.
truth.
Cynthia,
Does not operate with half
Cyn-
truth.
Cynthia, here's the whole truth.
I guess we'll be here all night
$750
with
withdrawal slip from
instead of
you.
getting on with our meeting.
Checking withdrawal. Where did you put the money? That's all I want to know. You do have to answer it. You're responsible to the people of the town of Thurman.
I am responsible, but I'm not responsible to sit here and have an argument, a
I'm
silly
not.
argument with you.
There's no silly argument when you're talking about townspeople's
So
money.
can we get on with the truck, please?
Yeah, as soon as you tell me where the $750 went.
The highway
Cynthia?
superintendent has been very busy
Yes, he
harnessing
has.
up horses, and I think that he would like to come up here and talk about this
Cynthia?
truck that we are going to talk
Cynthia?
about purchasing.
Cynthia, I think you need to answer us where this is, because there's a whole lot of money that's missing, and you're responsible.
Being publicly
responsible.
accused of stealing, that's very interesting on camera.
Well, that's very interesting, and that's your own words, not mine, but,
Public accusations of stealing.
Nobody
those
accuses
are
you,
your
just
words,
that's where I
not
went.
mine. Actually, I guess our people should know, I finally did get the bank statements from 12/31, and they're quite concerning. Our reserve is down to $44,930. It used to be $117,489 last year at this time. And our consolidated, which was $427,000 at the end of December last year, is down to $207,351. We have no operating money, Cynthia.
She don't care.
Do you realize that all of the stuff that happened on those roads, even if they're covered by FEMA, we have to put out the money beforehand to get those fixed?
She don't care.
We don't have it now. All the money that was spent outside of the budgeted amount has depleted our ability to take care of the townspeople. And you, as the chief financial officer, are directly
According to
responsible.
Gail, that is, just keep that in mind.
Are
According to
directly
Gail.
responsible for it.
Good job, Cynthia. Good job.
According to Gail.
Cynthia, what am I stating that is wrong? Where is the money gone?
Say something.
Because we don't have the operating money now.
Is there plenty of juice in that thing?
Cynthia?
She's not gonna answer.
Well, she can be compelled to answer, but, you know, that's up to her. I guess the voters won't be really happy when they don't get the river road fixed and when they can't pass a road
She don't care.
because they spent money.
She don't care.
The taxpayers might not like the fact that Cynthia walked out of this town office building because the power was off. Wonder why? And didn't wait for people to come that knew was coming, because she had other things to do, so she closed the offices because there's no power.
You know.
But it was important to have that generator hooked up on it, put in on Christmas Eve. Unfortunately, it wasn't hooked up. Has the Commonwealth Electric been called to do the electric inspection?
She's not gonna answer.
Cynthia?
Yes, they have.
And when are they coming?
I'm not sure yet.
Oh, so you haven't made a date for them to come?
Actually, we have, but I can't remember what it is at the moment.
You can't remember what it is?
I have it written down, I talked with Pat McTagg, but yes, they have. And that's all, are we ready to talk about the truck
Are
now?
we ready to just answer a couple questions that we have?
She's not gonna answer the question.
Because you're gonna have a lot to answer for when people can't get road work done. I do wanna thank Pat, because I know Pat worked real hard at getting a whole bunch of extra salt for the town, and was able to get the state to give us some really good low-temperature salt. Thank you. That saved the town a whole lot of money, and will help with those roads.
Maybe if Pat had a chance to talk, he could answer some of these questions you have about the roads, or statements.
Don't have any.
Well, about not being able to get repaired. Maybe he can answer whether or not his department is capable of taking care of the roads after this flooding. Was that being polite enough for him to be able to talk Ben?
Well, Pat.
You brought up
Pat can
roads,
talk.
he's up there and he can tell you what's gonna happen a month from now.
Well, Pat can go fine. Pat's the one that's taking care of the roads, but
No,
unless
you're
the
saying
town
that
has the
they're
money to
not,
fix them.
he doesn't have the money. From what I understand, you're saying we don't have the money. He doesn't have the money to do any more road work. And Pat could
That's not what I
officially
said.
stand up and state the road problem, how it's going to be handled, and what the problems are down the road. Now, why would you not want him to answer those questions?
I never asked him those questions.
No, but those are questions you're bringing up. Somebody's
No,
got to answer them,
I'm-
and he's in charge of the roads. That's who should answer the questions.
Joan, I'm asking where
Gail?
we're going to get the money to
Well,
fund
that's
these
his
projects. No, it is not. It's the
I
chief
wouldn't engage
financial
her if I were
officer.
you, Joan.
I'm not going to.
It's the
I
chief
don't-
financial
Don't
officer
engage.
that's running the,
I don't
that's
argue
running
with
the,
you.
that's running the supposed books here.
I would like to have him
But-
talk about it.
Well, if you'd like to, then by all means, ask me. Well, you know, that's fine. I don't care.
So we could ask Pat to come up here and answer these questions?
I don't care. Why not?
He's here to talk about
He's
the
not
truck.
worried, he's not worried about answering questions or talking about his job.
And that way he could go back home if he wanted to, right, Pat?
That would be fine.
You want to call him up there?
You wanna come up, Pat, and tell us about the truck, which I did include, he got 3 quotes. He did ask me to speak with the attorney, and I did about the foregoing of bidding, because if he feels it's an emergency, that he really needs this truck.
Yeah, we did put up for bid, we got 3 independent quotes from, because of the state contract. They don't have anything, just a plain truck, they got large trucks. And their prices start out $26,000, but that's not with the plow or anything included on just a regular cab pickup. And then the 3/4 tons, which you can put the plow on, they go up to $31,149, not including the plow. And Dodge is offering one for $32,000 minus the plow. So by going out doing the 3 bids locally, we've got a bid from Auto Saver Ford, which includes the plow, F-250 Super Duty single cab for $35,000 with plow included and 3 years of free maintenance. And so that's the one I thought we should go with.
Why don't I get a motion and second to get on the floor, and then if anybody has questions, they can ask it, okay? Do I have a motion to get this on the floor?
I'll second.
And who did the second?
I did.
Okay, okay, discussion, you can ask, you have some questions.
What truck
Well,
they gonna
I
be
meant the
buying?
board. I didn't mean the floor, the board.
About all of them except one. That's the trucks. There's no transmission in the yellow truck. We've been driving that one where the other one will be directed on the river. We do got that one back. We did straighten the frame, so that's back going. But we've got the old Army truck, and that's, you know, no glow plugs in that. That's pretty much done. And the white Ford's a 2-wheel drive, and then the frame and box are all right off that. So basically, we got one other truck that's going right now.
Yeah, but you budgeted for this.
Yeah, this was a budgeted item. It's in the
Yeah, you know it
budget. It's
was.
nothing we got to pay for extra.
No, it wasn't,
Yes,
like it
that-
wasn't budgeted, it's
That
right
was
there.
definitely budgeted for, and there's revenues to cover them.
We got
There's
75,000.
revenues to cover all the budgeted items,
Yeah.
and this is one of them.
That's fine.
33 was for the last payment. We budgeted 75,000, 33,000 for the last payment on the loader, and then the rest was to go for a pickup truck, and that left us 42. So we'll still be left with around $5,000 in the budget.
Okay, any other questions from the board?
You want to answer her? Do you think you have enough manpower, finances, ability to be able to take care of the roads for the rest of the year?
Take care of the roads, the additional cost of River Road, that's going to be a problem for finances, because I don't know, you know, how much it's going to cost, number one.
Right.
Amy seems to think that the governor may declare a statewide state of emergency, which would enable us to get federal funding, but that has to be paid for first. It's a reimbursement program, so we would have to have the money to do the work and then apply for federal funds.
Where that road gave up at, how's the APA in Forever Wild?
We weren't taking questions from the floor.
Well, I think it's a good question.
That's Forever
We-
Wild
this-
area
this
right
is-
there.
We're just talking
Pat,
about a truck
In
right
that
now.
case, well, we're discussing the road. What do you think the state regulations are gonna be considering the APA and all of that with that?
It is a
road
lot of
frontage?
forest, and DEC, you're gonna have to get a permit, because it's also Hudson River,
Yeah,
and they're gonna wanna have an engineer and, prove any work on it.
yeah,
Soil and water can do a lot of that forest for free.
yeah,
They'll help us do some work like that. Biggest thing is gonna be the cost,
yeah.
and Soil and Water has actually suggested we regroup the road to where that logging header is across the street. Well, that would require finding out who owns the property, and then they got the problem with the railroad too, because the tracks are awful close to being undermined, and are they gonna wanna move the railroad tracks and realign that too, so, there's a lot of ifs.
Any other
This has
questions
happened
from
in
the
the
board?
past, though, and we recouped all right.
Yeah, not as bad as that, only loved by
Is this
snake
the worst
river.
it's always been?
River Road?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worse I've seen the damage to the river, going through the ice slides over it, and you clean up the ice and you're done with it, but.
I have pictures from drones, if anybody wants me to, I can forward those. Got some bunch of them today.
For Pat?
Don't think so.
I just wanted to be assured that, that whatever we do, we're gonna be able to handle the situation when it's over with.
I hope so.
I hope so.
All right, any other questions? What we can call it, let me read it first. Resolution to purchase truck for the highway department. Whereas the 2018 highway budget has appropriated funds for a new truck, now be it resolved that the town board of the town of Thurman approves the purchase of a Ford F-250 4x4 with a Fisher plow from Autosaver for a price of $35,352, and which comes with a 3-year free maintenance agreement. Would you like to call a roll on that?
I'd just like to make sure you designate the source of funding out of this from the code, please. It's
Well-
DA 5197.2.
Well, we don't know what fund Pat wants to take it out of, but he's
It's the
budgeted for
highway,
it.
the
and
capital
well.
outlay equipment.
Yeah, 5197 is the code for the
Yeah.
equipment fund.
Okay, roll call vote, Supervisor Hyde,
Yes?
Councilwoman Needham,
Yes.
Councilwoman Eakley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris,
Yes.
Councilwoman Seaman,
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries. Okay, you got a new truck.
Thank you.
Okay, I would like to read a statement that I prepared. Tonight, we approved the purchase of a truck. I was pretty sure this was going to happen. This was an expected 2018 purchase that was budgeted for. Because we knew that there was money in the budget to buy this truck, we approved it. The budget also contains funds supported by revenue in the amount of $24,336 for the supervisor's confidential secretary, $4,000 for the deputy town clerk, and $11,000 for the assessor clerk. All three of these important positions are fully funded. The reasons money was appropriated for these positions are that they are important and they are needed in order to adequately serve the town of Thurman and in order for the officials from the three offices to uphold their responsibilities. At the organizational meeting, 3 board members cut all funds for the deputy town clerk and the assessor clerk and cut back the funds for the confidential secretary to the supervisor. If these 3 board members can understand that we can buy a truck for the highway department because it was budgeted for, they should be able to understand that we can afford these 3 positions because they were budgeted for, in the same way that the truck was budgeted for.
Now I'm going to...
Excuse me,
No.
I am not done.
Oh, you're done.
If these 3
Cynthia.
board members can understand...
Don't be rude.
No,
If
she's
these-
being rude.
Gail,
really-
I am
she's
reading
being
something.
You're
rude.
interrupting.
If
And you know
these...
what?
No.
I'm going to then have
If
my
these
say.
3
That's
board
correct.
members can
Wait till you're
understand that the
done.
highway department needs this truck in order to do their work, then they should also be able to understand that the town clerk needs the paid deputy town clerk that was budgeted for in 2018, in the 2018 budget in order to do her work. The assessor needs the assessor clerk that was budgeted for in the 2018 budget in order to do his work. And the supervisor needs a full-time confidential secretary that was budgeted for in the 2018 budget in order to do her work. Thank you, Cynthia Hyde, please include this.
Now I am going to make my statement that I want included in the minutes, please, verbatim. The reason those positions were eliminated and
If you would like
Cynthia, are you
a
going to interrupt
statement
me now?
verbatim, you're gonna have to write it
Oh,
down.
no, that's what the clerk, town clerk is for.
No.
Yes.
Nope,
Yes.
not for verbatim
Yeah.
minutes, they're
Yeah.
not written down, sorry.
Yes, it is, you take the
Absolutely.
minutes. You take the minutes, and that is your job.
They're
to-
your
to the
minutes.
town
She doesn't
board,
tell you how to
take the
write them.
minutes.
I don't have to include a statement.
If you are asked to include
No.
it, you have to include it.
No, I don't.
We'll get a ruling from the Association of Towns, because yes, I am sure you have to include it. Now, the statement that you have on tape that you can transcribe is the fact that those positions were deleted and they were reduced directly because of the financial crisis that this town is in. For the fact that our reserve fund has gone from 117,489 to 44,900. That was reserved for tremendous emergencies, which it was spent. Our consolidated fund went from 427,000 to 207,000. And the only reason it's 207,000 is because you took 64,000 out of the reserve and put it in there. We have no operating money, Cynthia. The secretary/bookkeeper was never a full-time position. It was only budgeted, and it was only approved as a 20-hour-a-week, no part-time position, no benefits. That's it. And that was Mike Eddy's insistence. It was never changed. That's the way it is. The clerk to the assessor was a made-up position that you made up in February last year in 2017. It was never a position. It was supposed to be simply a sole assessor position. You cut the sole assessor's salary from 22 to 11 and then made up another position for a clerk to the assessor. Well, we need to save that money because we've got to come up and bring that 207,000, trying to save it, because we're going to have road repairs coming due. We're going to have money outlays that
We'll
we
stop
don't have
operating the
anything.
town.
No, we don't want to stop
We have to
outlining.
stop it.
Cynthia,
Close all the offices,
Cynthia,
stop operating the
Cynthia.
town.
It's funny, every other supervisor has managed to use a confidential secretary at 20 hours or less a week. And you said, get your hands on the books and you can take care of
And we saw the result of the
it.
bookkeeping.
I saw the results of a town clerk that lost $7,000.
Here we
That's
go
now
again,
sitting
more
as a
accusations.
supervisor. Oh, no, that's in the audit report. The only
No,
one I
it's
know
not.
that lost money that can't be accounted for.
No, it isn't.
So now we're looking for a whole bunch of money that can't be accounted for in our consolidated. Money was spent last year that was never budgeted for, all over the place.
Oh, stop.
So now we have to make sure we find some place to save it, to keep it back, because we don't have anything to put out to fix those roads.
How can you sit there and lie?
$4,000 is gonna go a long ways to fixing a road.
Well, you know what, it's gonna go a whole lot longer than zero.
Be a little bit more comfort than being told that our best
Excuse me,
chance to
but we
pay off
aren't
the
having
loans.
discussion
Well,
from
you
the
know
floor,
what, Cynthia,
Matthew.
maybe we should have some
Excuse me?
privilege of the floor.
You guys
Excuse
told
me,
me
we are
last
not
year-
having
Cynthia?
discussions from the floor, I'm
You
sorry.
guys told me last year
We
that
are
the
not
debt for this year
having
is paid
discussion
mostly by
from the floor,
magazines.
Mrs. Siemens, son,
Cynthia.
Matthew.
Cynthia, maybe we should have some,
You're the fiscal officer.
I think it's time to get on with the
Sooner or
order.
later, you're gonna have to.
why don't we have some privilege of the
You're
floor?
the fiscal
I think that's
officer,
the
and you
whole
We
say
are
that you're
not, we are
fixing
here
stuff
to
already
audit
done.
books, and if we don't get onto it, we're gonna just leave and forget the audit. We're gonna stay here all night long
Cynthia,
and listen to you.
You don't have all of
Susan, would
the,
you like to bring over your books? Deborah, would you like to
Cynthia,
bring over your books?
you
And we'll
don't
get
have
started with
all
the
of the
audit.
things to audit these books with.
You have a checklist.
This checklist is missing a whole bunch.
That checklist is from the comptroller's website, Gail, okay?
The last one. that I
Well,
remember
look, Gail,
seeing
you
were
didn't even
3
have a
pages.
checklist the last
Yes,
couple of
we
years.
did.
You guys bring a chair right up here to this table, so in case they have any questions.
I'm not
I would
doing this.
appreciate it too, as
You're
you
not
guys
doing
look
this
through
right.
these, that you be very careful that they stay in order, please. We work very hard on our books to keep them real organized.
Well, we got a magazine that grants.
That's what I was told when we here. Everything's fine. We have a magazine full of grants.
Debbie?
Susan, as far as the town clerk checkbook, you're carrying the balance in your checking account. You're
Yes
not
and no.
supposed to be.
No, there was a balance when I first came in, that was there, that Jeannie had been carrying, we zeroed that out as per the comptroller's office.
No, you still got a balance on it, because in the bank audits, in the bank statements that you gave me, you still have a balance of like $600 or $700 that should have gone into the,
Well, perhaps the check hadn't been going to the supervisor yet.
but you
That
can't
last
close
check.
them out then until you give them that check.
You're here to audit the books, not give, I mean, these are
Cynthia,
her books.
Cynthia,
She'll take
you
care
can't
of
close
herself.
a book out unless you zero it out and put the funds where they belong. It's
We have
supposed to be
looked
for
at
the end
it
of the year.
before the check was cashed. That's probably what
The
happened.
bank statement says 12/31.
Yes, but you.
She,
write
at
the
12/31, she
You
would
have to-
still have, her report is not due and her check is not due until the 5th of the month. And so she would have money in there.
It's not due to the 15th, but I do it on the 15th.
Oh, that's right, it's the 15th for supervisors, it's the 5th to ag and markets. Yeah, so she should have had money in her bank account at that point, I'm very sorry. She would not have
And I
emptied her
believe
account until the
that's the amount,
15th.
I believe that's
I
the
guess
amount
you
of the
didn't
last
have
check
to.
that went to the supervisor, 600 something, that sounds about right, so what?
Imagine that.
So,
Debbie,
Cynthia,
you wanna show maybe
Cynthia,
you
don't-
can go this way too? When Doug's
you
finished
can
with
barely add 2 and 2, so let's not even go there.
Oh my God.
You can't.
I didn't even hear it, so.
Well, that's a good thing. I don't hear a lot.
This is all just trash bags and dog license?
Yeah, it breaks it down, trash bag, dog license,
Does it
marriage
go like every
license.
month or does it?
It's day to day, and I have to print that out every day, so it's a.
Daily cash.
Yeah.
Okay, so the $460.90, then you have a credit. You have a check that's gone to the supervisor.
Yeah, that went over with the check for the end of the month, the January check, which would have been January.
Yes.
Oh, well, see, we haven't gotten those statements yet because Cynthia hasn't decided to give it to us.
What statement are you talking about?
Oh, don't worry about it. Got all the information on there.
The last check actually that went to her was for 5/11.
5/11?
So when that, and there was probably another deposit that came in. Probably, I believe it was $60.
Susan, hey John, there's something going on with your iPad.
You had to do a separate checklist for, oh, shoot.
Is it separate for this person?
You know what, I didn't make a checklist. I just made a total checklist. So,
That's what I
Do
said.
you want any of the
They're
others?
specific.
Joan, do I, can I have your
Do you want any of the
checklist?
other ones? Any of the
Joan?
other ones?
Nobody needs, oh, I gave her another one. Joan, can I have your checklist? Because I should have given you a checklist. And I gotta make a copy.
Oh, he doesn't have that separate?
Well, he's got one for the town clerk.
Oh, they're separate.
You should have a separate one. Yeah.
cash it to be.
Yeah. How is this 55? The bank or whatever I'm trying to get at.
Okay, he has.
And we see all the receipts where we marked everything down. That's fine, but how do we know the total where everything actually went?
There's a monthly report, yeah. There's a monthly report, we do my tax statement.
Okay. I didn't see that yet. I just.
Yeah, I don't know you're trying to understand, you know, but if you might want to come in, I'll show you everything in my office and explain the process. Like, no problem. Deposit slips, everything, you know.
All right. Okay, every month.
Every month, and it's, yeah, so actually, I have to, when I get over the cover charge now, I make a deposit. Print out a report at the end of the month, comes right off of the accounting software, and which is,
I was gonna say,
but it gets at the, total of all the money that I take in, and it tells me how much has to go to the ag market for their portion of the Australian Leader program, how much goes to, check the department, and what portion goes to the supervisor.
Susan, where's the annual report for 2017?
I guess I should figure it out yet, I didn't know how she used audited fees. I was out of the office all of last week.
I can show you what it looks like. Okay, can you print it out?
I'm sorry, I can't
So the report looks like this. Well, this is what I need to see. I need to see. I need to see the annual audit. I know that the receipts match the reimbursements.
Whatever it is.
The disbursements. Can you go turn it on and print it out?
Do you want me to give you the report that she did?
No, I want to see the actual printout, the report.
She's got it.
You happen to have yours?
I don't think, I just handed all my stuff. I know you did. No, these are not filled out, these are filled out. Do you want to copy it off the one I gave you? We're still, which one are we on?
They're doing it to us for town.
Yeah.
I should have another report, what the report looks like. Help them with it. I will. We gotta get some new language, because the clips will stay, and when you turn the pages. Well, I'm scared they're gonna fall out. No, I put it in a better one. Oh, you did? Oh, good, because it's real hard to big. I know, I put it in a different one, so that one. You pay a little extra for responders. Good ones.
Question Debbie can answer. Debbie can answer.
Well,
I only see the one.
that's,
But I'm asking here, I'm just trying
let
to.
me see, that's probably talking about,
That's probably talking about that.
Okay.
in fact, she's got copies. She gives out this one, and then she has two more. So, yeah. We do the same thing.
You have copies of all the canceled checks, or the not canceled checks, either.
I did, but I don't remember. Well, the whole amount was $3,000, broken down like $7,000.
The destroyed checks, you know, the ones that had to be rewritten or something.
Voided
Voided checks, yes.
We keep them, we write void on them.
Right. We have a copy of the list of all the voided checks.
She has a copy of the checks going down through.
You didn't have to, we didn't check report.
I mean, on a bank rec with enhanced, it will tell you void yes or no. But I didn't start using that until September.
Yes, there should be a voided check.
Is that on the checklist?
I don't know, I've never seen these checklists, Cynthia, because the other ones were specific to the office.
I called the comptroller's office and asked them what checklist I should use, and I spoke directly to them. They told me where to get it, and that's where I got it.
Yeah. These are,
So that's the only checklist I know of. And the purpose for doing this is
I
so
wanna see it
the
first.
auditors come and ask, they want to know we did it. And so obviously we use their checklist. Okay, you're doing a good job.
Those things should match up to the cash log, but not necessarily. Because they won't necessarily excite you.
Take anything that you like?
Could be a week before.
Last of the month.
Anything that happens.
My son called down and I got sick. This is Saratoga Hospital. And he said, don't come in. No, they don't. Okay, thank you.
Is that on my check?
And they're done by us. Which one was that?
You guys want me to forward to you all these drone pictures so you can see them from up the river?
I want to take.
I've been up there and looked. I can see them already.
I have that. Yeah, I didn't. So Monday I'll do that.
That's what made it worse. We went up to the campground. My sister-in-law has a camper in there, on the water. She says, I hope it's not high enough to take my television. It's brand new. So she's hoping to get the television out of it anyway.
Oh, her only cash disbursement is this and her and I
And then, of course, Scott was in here, so he couldn't go down. They were calling it, snowmobiles too. I got my ticket.
This would be her cash disbursement. She writes a check to the supervisor. And then I deposit it on the So her only disbursement is this check to the supervisor. No, and then, oh, and to Ag and Market. Oh, yeah, yeah. You can see, when you go through my book, you'll see that every month. Are they done with that? Are you done with that here? Okay. Watch figure.
I look like I'm not interested, it's because I spent all week looking at it.
yeah, this I know, I was looking forward to it.
So you're done with my stuff?
Yeah, here's what I'm doing.
Here, Gail can start with our stuff.
Okay, I'll start on that end.
This is January to June.
Yeah, the other one.
I just only fit half a year. This is every single department. This is in her report, her tax report,
Sue,
Sue's report would all be in here.
did you want it?
I'll get it.
You want me to get her?
This is July 27th. And toward the end, after I got a little more experience, I started to keep this sheet right here. That tells me the code for every deposit. So it lists it all right there. wanted to go, I found out.
As long as I got some people here, I might as well tell you that, in case you don't know, I talked to the director of Department of Transportation for the whole state, and he told me, this is a couple days ago, they've got a team, they have quite a large team trying to work on this here, and they send somebody up here 4 times a day to look at the bridge and the river. And their plan is to get to the point where once the water starts going over, they're hoping to bring a crew up and get that ice off of the road. But they are on it all the time. They keep coming up and sending drones to check everything out. So, and of course, our highway department is working really hard on keeping track of what's going on the River Road. We keep in touch with the people that have been, the one man that's been evacuated, and then the other gentleman that stayed. And but so everybody's been working really hard. We really appreciate all the help that emergency services has given us down at the county and state. And also, just so you know, I was on a conference call Sunday with emergency services, surrounding towns, EMSs, and fire companies. And the fire companies and the EMSs and the county came up with an alternative plan so that Thurman would be kept safe during this. So the different fire companies, they had to kind of change their routes around because obviously the bridge is closed. So we are still covered, and they've worked very hard to come up with a good plan for that. So I just want to let everybody know.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cynthia, in regards to that, is your personal phone number on the website? Because I had somebody call me the other night wanting to know how to get in touch with you, and the only number that was listed was your business number. This was obviously after hours. So as far as being the emergency contact.
Well, the emergency people know my home phone, yeah.
Okay, well, if a citizen in town needs to get in touch with somebody for emergency, and you're the emergency contact, how do they get in touch with somebody?
Well, what do you mean emergency contact? I mean, people don't seem to have a problem getting hold of me.
Right, because what I did was I found the resolution that had your personal phone number on it, and I gave it to them. But when they looked on the town website, and I looked on the town website, the only number for you was your town phone number. This was after hours, so since they felt it was an emergency, they would have had to wait till the next day to get to this.
Well, I am in the book.
You're in the phone book. Okay.
My name, too.
Okay, are you going to put your phone number on the town website as far as an emergency contact? That's all I'm wondering.
That resolution is more talking about I'm the emergency contact for the town. If there's an emergency and the emergency services needs to get a hold of me, I'm not the person for all the people in town if they have an emergency to call. I mean, if they have an emergency, they need to call the EMS. Or 911, not me.
Okay,
I don't have an ambulance.
So if somebody wants to get a hold of the town supervisor.
I think they know how to get a hold of the town supervisor.
Okay, so you're not going to put your personal phone number on the town website?
Please, we're not having privilege of the floor.
I understand that, but since you were talking to us personally just now, I just had that question. So you're not going to put your phone number on?
Winnie, please
No, you
stop
don't answer a
now.
question,
Please
Cynthia.
stop now, Winnie.
No, you know, Cynthia, I'm not. You stood up there and
Winnie,
talked to us.
please stop.
I just like a yes or no. Are you going to put your phone
Winnie, you're
Yes
not going
or
to
no?
demand that I answer your questions. Please just, we are trying to do something here.
Yeah, I can see you're really busy. Yes or no?
Please be careful with our books.
No, it's fine.
Okay? I know they're a little tough to put back in because they're so thick. did you want to show them that?
Yeah, I can show them in. Yeah.
This is,
One of the things on my list, well, there's a different list of things. There's all the cash receipts and cash disbursements for the years. Where they all, this is broken out by all the general fund loans, and then, it just goes through each fund and each disbursement. You can take it apart and look at them if you want. I think it'll be general fund receipts, all of them for the year. And then this is Williams and Long. In October, we started using enhanced. This is what their report looks like. One reason I like this better is because it has the dates, this one will not. And it also gives you the total and then breaks out what code it went to per date. So I kind of like this one better. This one's a little simpler to read, I guess. That's what they are.
not as much information.
And what's great about this one is if I want to print a quarter, like if you want to look at the first 3 months of the year, I can put in dates and get all 3 months on one page. Where this one is 1 page per month and you have to add them up on the calculator. So, and then here's all the cash disbursements and which code they went to for each month. And it's separated by enterprise fund, work projects, highway, or whatever it says on the top. So there's one of these for every month, for every month. Everyone that had money now.
If you want a copy of that, you can go make a copy of this.
If no money came in, there'll be no report, it won't exist. I wouldn't print a zero or anything, I just won't be there.
Okay, never mind, I found it.
Oh, okay. Then that big baby right there.
Do you want to look through them or should I? I'll just clip them,
I don't know if there's a stapler big enough to staple that.
I don't know. We don't need a staple. I have those.
We do have a big one though.
No, I've got my.
Can the staples on that big?
All of those are in that red book also, so it doesn't really,
Yes.
Oh, you know, you'll learn.
just ask anything.
Yeah, don't, we ask, ask any questions you
I'm sure
want.
everything looks fine.
Well,
I think it's a good, really good job.
explain everything to you.
The more you look at it, the better you get at it.
Yeah, and I'll help you. Don't be afraid to ask me anything. What's good about these reports is if you're waiting for like the second quarter sales tax and you want to know when did it come in last year, you kind of see where the money's going to come in. Oh, that'll be in the red book. I'll get to that. I'll do this with you notice. This is the cash receipts book. This was before I started, and we had to get the copies from the bank because we didn't know where they were. So after that, we keep it like this. So when it goes to, right off the certificate, then there's this yellow one that shows the bank on it. Yep. And then behind that is copies of the check and all kind of correspondence, like in the land. This is a landfill board looks like. You get from Charlie, and then he'll write on it, he'll write how much you have. Because sometimes it's cash. This one this one, that's $29. That's how we do that. And then, everybody's deposit, that's plastic sleeve.
What's that all about,
So
Wendy?
that if we have to look into it's easy.
Oh, I'm sure you think that.
They're
Thank
all
you,
in
Wendy. I'm glad you think that
They're
pretty.
We transfer in the beginning, we transfer in the money.
Did you know it was a photo shoot?
What's that?
Did you know it was a photo shoot?
No.
And then here's the beginning, we if Susan gives me money, say someone has to pays for white space, and she takes the money, then when she gives me the money, I have to write Susan a receipt too, to prove that I got money from somebody, whether it's cash or check. And this is the report that we get from the Court of Justice, for a check every month, just like this. And then there's the other one that I showed you that Susan gives me. Now, when I was here a while, I realized that I have to put these into the system, then they'll code that. I started to do this. So it lists. And then it goes at measurement. It just makes it easier for me. And then I just take that sheet and space. Yeah, as we go along, we learn to shortcuts, you know. Yeah. So that's that. This is the whole year. That's half the year. This is the second half of the year. No, that part is in this big red book here. These are only the deposits that go to the bank. That's all this is. Are you still looking at it? I know. Huh? You're good.
What is happening?
This book, I know work for the month. I run the total at the bottom to match out. I mean, it's done, yeah, that's what, then after that, it's my bank statement. I wish I had my bank reconciliation. What this is on ending balance, minus these unclear checks. Now what I do is I take that number, I have a lot of it, that's the match. And then it also has to match what's in the 200, which is the cash account. So you'll see whatever that balance is down at the bottom. 384,180, 384,180. So every month, this is in the book, so it has to match what's on the statement. And I do this for highway. The way it's and then after the bank statement, and this listing of the adjustment. Cash receipts, summary page, it's like what you saw in that big package, but it's summary of, and here's the cash disbursement for the month, and then goes general, highway, enterprise, you know, like all the funds. And then behind that, the details of the revenues for each fund. Expenditures, it's all the reports that print when you close out the month. All of it, just print on the back of it. So that is how it is for every month. So you get to September or October, because in October is when we switch it over to the months. We have to do 81, but the problem that I have is some law too, which comes to bank records. If you don't have any transactions, no checks moving around the bank account, sometimes what happens with, work project funds and stuff, it won't print you anything. It says no transactions, and it's, you can't print it. I took pictures of it on my phone, just to move it, you know. And sometimes, even with the payroll, going on the Tim on, they're always reversed. One gets direct deposit, one gets a check. They're always reversed. So the names aren't that. They match, the check is right, the number's right, the dollar amount's right on the check. But in the system, the names, sometimes there's no check number. Sometimes, I could show you if you want to see it, but I wanted to really get switched over. I didn't switch it over to payroll because that would have been just really complicated. I only did it for checks. So what I did here is I changed my supervisor a little bit to balance out down here. And also did this type of bank rec, where it has the same numbers, it has the same list of over here, but down here, it'll tell me these deposits were in this hand, these disbursements. So when you add these two up, it equals this. Payroll checks were in Williamson Hall, they're right there. And then it transfers to TVA. Here, that's usually the Jewish shield. Both of these, because they're both getting transferred to software. And then that goes to my balance, and it's balanced out. And then, yeah, because this is one November. So here's my receipts, and when you look at the receipts, they match over here. To the bank, it's 42,886. This is the report, it shows 42,886, so I know that they match. I know that what's in the bank is in the books. And then here, this is all my other checks, and this is all of them, so I had to separate out general and seasonal. And these codes, I mean, I think as go along with the budget, but number one is the general fund, so that's what these are, just general. And then these are the general fund personal. And so I itemized them. First they're consolidated all ones, and then they're individual, so that's the one's contract, and that's just one fund. You'd be able to look it up. And this was just my list I did payroll to know how much to break out the highway and general. And then this is a report I did for the transfers, and any time we transfer from general to TNA, I separate it out, and then I put my FICA Medicare, federal tax. So when I'm doing my calculation, I have it right there. Balance out the top. Same kind of thing that I just showed you where it tells me what funding, you know, what software is in, so totaling out two matches. Here, checks. In case it ain't going to the next month, I know what I have to see if people think had a lot of them here. Sometimes if the checks get done at the end of the month, the payroll is 28, and the checks get here, so you might have a lot. And it's the same thing. All these are the receipts. And
just like.
You have one thing right there, this is the 64,000 that was advanced to the highway, that will be being paid back into that savings account. But I need to create this fund in order to transfer it, like money wise, in the books. So that's not done yet, but it goes, so you need to journal and have to know that. My whole year in a nutshell here. Oh, and you're gonna have the right. This is the consolidated bank account, and the last one was December. There's the number right there. And you're gonna need the other bank account, so we should do that. No, it can't be locked.
Better not, better not be locked. Your car keys right there. I didn't lock it. When we locked it on us. They ask you're gonna have to wait till she comes down. I think it's when that last one was done. Yeah, she'll mess with that. Bringing out some other ones. So that you can do one for the town clerk, one for the supervisor. Yeah. And the court clerk was going to come, but her husband's having some issues and he didn't get out of the, I don't know if it's the hospital or whatever, but. So you guys are welcome to come in during the day and look at her books. Joan's going to audit her books during the day too, because she comes all the way from Providence, and they got back so late from the doctor that she couldn't, and I think he wasn't doing well too, so.
This is the water project, it has its own bank account. There's $313,000 going in that we got from the bank. It started in June, so this was my expenses. Oh, I think this is a sheet of that where I couldn't print it. Remember something? We printed this when it had no it showed zero balance. Zero meaning balance, but it wouldn't let me print the statement. So remember we screenshot that?
Oh, that's, yeah, Williamson Law, you mean?
Yeah, we screenshot this one. But then it does the same thing as the other cash receipts, cash disbursements. We didn't have much going on, just both checks, and that was it.
But that's all closed out now because we obviously paid for the water project, so that's all.
Yeah, but here's where transactions were going on. And this was the checks we wrote out. There were no more receipts other than interest after June. So, see, just like interest. And then the checks that went out. And then I was actually able to do the bank record on this one, so I got to do it. It shows the balance. Same thing, cash receipts, disbursements, every month until this is where we're at, we got 10,295.17. We moved this money out, it went into the general fund, but it's still showing here as a balance, because you see, they didn't post any interest here because they were planning to close this out on December 29th. So it hit the general fund on the 29th, but this transfer in didn't hit till January 3rd because they had to calculate the interest up until that point in time. So I'm going to have another January statement where it'll show that it's a zero balance. I called and asked the comptroller if I could just put it all in December and be done with it by the end of the fiscal year, and he said no. It's in transit, so I can't. I have to do a January pay correct when it comes in. But just to show that did come out. It's just, it didn't happen in time. So you need to know what the bank account number and the balance and a month ending December. Yeah.
On the bank end, it didn't happen in time.
On the bank end, yeah, because of the interest, we didn't know that. Here we go. 131, 32, 39. She's not on here.
I can't see anything without my glasses.
And here's where I wrote that I called them, and the interest is 79 cents, and, you know, the whole story of what happened right back there. And then here's the transfer going out. Remember I showed you them, and I said if you go in and do it in person, you get one of these big things. So it's done.
Yeah, some things have to be done.
So it's in general in one, but not out of here yet, and it will be as of January 3rd.
Yeah, there's that consolidated account number, 81.
Yeah, 81. That's the consolidated account. So this one, this is the new highway bank account. They had $5,000 left at the end of the year, so we moved them into the bank account here. I think they have another maybe $700 left. They did just get their tax revenue for their budgets coming in now, so we just got a check for, I think, $188,000 from Jamie. So we have budgets. This is highway, yeah, just highway here. Association, so budget part of that. And then the tax money comes in. General fund, the general fund, $5,000, the rest of our money increased by.
Oh, I have no idea what that
The highway
Sales tax, mortgage.
yeah, mortgage tax, you know, all the other kind of. But the highway fund takes $598,000 of tax money. So as it comes in, we put $55,028 in the ARC, and the rest went into there, so they have $132,000. That's fiscal year. No. This is for so far. This is for the whole year. They got 132, but by February, they'll have more.
Well, all their money from all the tax chunk, there's other money coming in.
Yeah, this is what's 396,000 is what they'll raise from other sources. And their appropriations are 950, this number 900. So that's how you know how much tax money is coming out. It's split up. The water project fund is going to get to 20,704, which is 13,000 principal, the rest is the interest on the ban. And fire company will get their 76 after taxes. Yep, this is when we raise the taxes, that's the total taxes that will come in. We should have that debt.
Well, the county makes us whole. Yeah. If you don't pay anything, they make us whole. And then they collect. And then quarterly, we get sales tax. And when you're out and about, you see lots of people touring around and going to the store, you think, yes. Because they're I never liked tourists until I started worrying about how much sales tax they're going to get. When I saw those guys from America, I went, yes! They're bringing in sales tax.
This is the
Do we get sales tax? Well, we didn't get the fourth quarter, but we got last year's.
You get the fourth quarter now.
Yeah, we're gonna get,
We get that now. So this shows that we started, we started our year. 117,000. 8,223 is trading unit. And then this is 4,000. Highway ran out of money. So that's advance. That's going to be paid back. So that will bring us back up to 109. I don't know if we'll have. She's just right. Talking about the savings account.
All the way.
Well, the savings.
that's what the comptroller's called it, because it's not a reserve account.
You show me where accounts
It
allowed to have
wasn't
savings.
properly set up.
It was never done properly. You know what it was.
Look, the
Okay,
examiner that
doesn't
did the
matter.
audit's the one that told us that, Gail. I guess
Doesn't
I
matter.
trust his judgment. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Well, it does matter, because you keep saying something that's not true.
No,
Yes, you do.
you just changed the game plan.
Never
Never
a
question.
About 4
Question, because you were saying something about the highway being over budget.
Yes.
But you didn't credit the box from January back to the previous year. You took it out of this year's 2017's budget.
No, it came out of their $292,000 that they had left at the end of the year.
Did you credit it back to the 2016 budget?
It's done with abstract 13, which was the 26 bills paid in January 11th of 2017.
With that, what was it, 43,000 or something
Yep,
like that?
43,000.
That was taken off of that last year's
Came out of
budget?
their money that was left over at the end of the year.
Okay, so where is the, it would have been nice if we could have a monthly statement as to what those budget codes and what was charged each month for those budgets. Budget lines, revenues and expenditures that we're supposed to get next board meeting.
I think it's the date you prepared.
Well, you would need one for back then, right? You would
Well, we need
for-
one for,
You would need one for
Correct.
January last year to see where that came out, right?
well, actually,
I think it's the date she performed the bank reconciliation. I think he's looking for this.
You know what the codes are.
Oh,
I said,
okay,
you
that
got
would
to be
be,
the only one that would know what the
on
codes
this,
are.
no,
this one
printed right
here.
here as to what every single one of them are.
Oh, yeah, I know, but when you're looking at a whole picture,
It would be in January. There's a few pages on there because I had to make this because of this.
I know.
It wasn't in December because I got the statement December 8th, so I would say, January 8th, so I would say the 5th of January probably. I don't, let me see what I ran the accounts. Here, January 19th. That's the date I ran the accounts. Thank you. Starting in January when I'm using
We
enhanced.
have both of these accounts?
Yeah, you do. This is,
Both will be the same on the same date?
well, order, I mean, there was nothing to it, it had no money, so I didn't have to. They came in at the same time, let me see, what day did she call? What day did I call? Here, 110, so this one will be 110. And that's a water project, it ends in 839. Yeah, 110. Because I mean, there's nothing to it, look, I mean, there's nothing.
Nothing there.
I was like, okay, let me just call Candace and see why it doesn't have a zero. That was that.
Two then?
No, we have, do you have highway? Did you put highway there? 131, 330, 405. And that is, there was no, I mean, this is my first statement, so there's nothing to There is no reconciliation, and it's one number in, one number. And we put the 10th because, yeah, there's really nothing, yeah. It's new. It just started on 12/29. We have like food pantry, food commission, I don't know if you want those too. They don't,
Food pantry's not a
they don't
town.
really even, they don't go on any deed, so.
We're not really, we don't do anything with it.
Yeah, the major one is the consolidated one, that's got all of, that's enterprise, capital projects, highway, general, and beginning of the water project is in that account as well. And if you ever have any questions, you want to see something, you know.
While I'm thinking of it, I just want to let you know that, if you guys could come up, if you had any specific questions for the attorney and the engineer, they might be coming in both in February rather than March. So if you have any specific questions, I could give them your emails, and that way if you have any specific questions for them that they needed to prepare for.
Probably find your 43,000 in here.
Just ask them when they get here.
No, that's all right. I'm just looking for today. So they're coming to the February meeting?
I think they're gonna both come to that one. I'll let you know I'll email you, let you know for
I'll get
sure.
to look through this, I just wanted to show you.
First, we thought they couldn't come until March, but I think they're gonna be able to make it February.
Did you want to know about the sales tax thing? Are you asking that? Because I could look that up right now.
That was me.
Oh, okay.
I know, it comes in quarterly.
As you can see here, the sales ceded property taxes, 200,000 came in January, another 208 came in February. Here's the non-property tax distribution, 94,000 came in there. A lot of them have come in early in the year.
Yeah, the first couple.
Yeah, first couple.
But not all of it.
Classified revenues, and all that.
That just makes taxes.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's just normal bill money. We already do that.
Occupancy tax.
Good luck, if you get anything.
Well, we approved it in December. Yeah. We haven't had very good winters at all.
That's why it's like A to B
And a lot of it melted in that rain, didn't it? Yeah.
Wherever there's a water,
Oh, you can't ride on it. I have one of those.
Not real good for the
Right,
snow.
non-profit tax and another 82,000. You do get a lot of money early in the year, and then that ties us over. Per capita, I don't remember what that was, something. The money we got from the county.
That was that one we kept saying, I wonder what that is, and then we got the check, remember?
Yeah,
And, I forgot what it is right now, too. Yeah.
yeah. See what we got every year?
Yeah, actually,
Oh,
we,
yeah, it really,
it shows you the revenues here. See, these are all the general fund revenues, real property tax, other payments in lieu of taxes, real interest and penalty, occupancy tax, which the town gives to the people that use it. Then this is income from different departments. This is the sales tax. Interest.
most of them.
Yeah, fines. Oh, here's that state aid per capita, 22,000, and then we get mortgage tax, and then we get, see this here is, we get money from the county, we pay bills every month for when the older people take that bus, you know, the bus is Friday, and then we get reimbursed some of that money back. What we have to do is we have to give them a report, we have to give them pictures of checks, and then they reimburse the money back. Same thing with the youth program. We keep track of receipts, and we keep track of the checks, and then Joan actually just finished that report, and we send that in, they reimburse us some money, and, so, yeah.
Do you have one of these?
Yeah, they're online, but if we can, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can make the copy of it, because you should be able to, you know.
Actually, you can have this one right now, and we'll get it all.
Get them each of those.
I think there are some extras.
So I'm starting the new budget for the new year now, and I'll be like the sheets one in before, I'll have the whole rest, and I'll have all those budgeted amounts on one side. And then any expenses that get done will come off, and you'll be able to see the totals. You'll be able to see what revenue came in, what's expected still to come in will be the balance on the right-hand side. And, yeah, every month, well, this won't be, but there'll be a list of all those codes, and that will be the report that we'll get. So you can just go down line by line, and income and expenses, each code will be on there. So any expense that got put into a code, not only will it have one of these to go with it, but that report will just show all the codes, what came in, what changed in or out, and then total.
Well, let me explain something else to you, because these numbers here, when it gets to the appropriations, you'll see where they'll have a .1, a .4, sometimes a .2. What .1 is that's salary. .4 is contractual, as in, like, for instance, when we buy paper or office supplies, or, you know, things we need, that's contractual. Yeah.
And then did you get the big book of all the codes? Yeah.
.2 is equipment. And like,
well, that one has all the codes out there, but this is just codes that we use, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, you don't have to.
No, it's pretty simple. Then you got, when you get over here with employee benefits, and you see that there's a couple of different numbers. But mostly, you know.
It's broken out too for general, highway, enterprise,
This is the highway, so the expenses, highway revenues page, and then these are the appropriations here.
and then showing this is where the bond is. This is bond payment, and the bond interest, those are those numbers. So when that comes due in May, you know, the tax money will be in and be put into to these codes. No, not every year, so this year, just for this year.
We're actually 20,000
Altogether.
Yeah, that's the interest rate, and that's the principal. And but that's something, next year we'll have to decide how we're gonna proceed with that. And that's the other thing, wait.
And then I just wanted to tell you, I have stuff. This tells you how to figure out how much taxes we will pay. See, this is the total
Right now we have it.
So they need, take this number and divide it by this number.
I think that's what's
Get this. So that tells you that you're paying 34 cents for every $1,000 assessed value. Your home is assessed at $100,000, you pay $34. That's how it figures out. So you can see that.
It's in the minutes.
Fire's a different number, because they have different exemptions that don't count for the fire. That
No, in the minutes it's a anticipation though.
Enterprise cannot use any tax money, that's why it has to be built. It has to be on a shoulder. And actually, in December, it's going to be more than one else. Because you know, a lot of people paid at the end for the whole, paid more money.
Yeah, we got probably some people that didn't pay. Oh, no, they paid in January, didn't they?
So I'll presentation in the future about some of this stuff.
And that's better than paying the whole 300,000.
Next year, March, almost 300,000. We pay it off for 4 years, so it's 75,000. Why was
A year.
a year? Why was they recommending $50?
Good question. Why would they
Not
recommend,
really like a big chunk of money.
when you're on board, they recommended that? Then they, you got set off. But that's what the, I mean, look at the resolution, it said pay it.
There's a lot of stuff.
Pay it and just spread it out. So give it.
No, I'm not. My tax, you have to put your feet up someone away.
I just wanted you to know. And I have it all. All I have to do is plug them all in, type it all in. I really don't. That's
That's an assessor budget.
Yeah. I don't know what it means, it doesn't mean anything to our dog. Maybe.
Yeah, well, it does, if our assessors are, what they're like, our,
Oh, it's, I know what it is.
they're so very important to the budget.
Property.
No, I said,
People have these things. That's what they see first. How many are
out there looking at all. If there's anybody interested. That's what I'm interested in about 4 months.
Well, you can have that. Oh, should she get you both one? Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Let's just come in.
I'll bring my books back up. Did Gail get to see those? Did you get to see those, Gail?
Yes,
You got to see those?
She was the first
You
one.
gotta see.
Well, I was gonna have, we were gonna do one for each one. It's the same exact thing, so one was for, yeah, that's all right. That's okay. We're gonna, I asked the comptroller to push back to half. If they happen, if they happen to ask, we have to file. They wanna see that you do.
It's just a new highway account, the new highway bank account. It's on now.
That makes
We
sense.
put $5,000.
Yeah, we like to make them happen.
It's on, it just started. And then this is the,
Oh, well, there's a lot to look at.
it started in June, well, I tried to,
When you first look at it,
it's
it's
last
like,
statement for December, I remember.
when I first abstract.
This is moved,
When I was county
it
clerk.
moved here.
Just out of curiosity, you get used to it, you look and you learn money. Once you start to make sense, then it makes sense. And we're lucky because.
Some Crystal Rock was taking that little high now.
They have.
Here, you can
They're
see
on
this.
the highway, the library, the sewer district, the water district, and all kinds of codes and numbers that we don't have. We're simple. We don't have a whole lot. We're probably the simplest. Well, Stony Creek would be probably, a lot, we don't have the sewer, the water.
Expense to this account.
We don't have all of that.
All of the Crystal Rock, probably never she's.
All of it except, yes, all of it.
But what about the Crystal Rock that was paid before we had the money?
Yeah. Because that was
Fun, Joe? Huh? You having fun?
Yeah, I've had fun all week, I've got this going. An hour and a half. I'll say it took me all day to do it.
because that was also
Now, I know out of this quote that
I have
some of
something
the,
where I'm
to some of those expenses, because the attorney did tell me that I could refund the general fund to use up that money. So I think that is, I'm not sure if it's Crystal Rock, but I can hold that up there.
Yeah, because it should
But, yeah, should be actually, you can sign that.
Anything along with that should be better.
Yeah,
What I'm gonna do, tests should have been expensed to that.
I know some were, I don't know if all were, but I have a print, I can have a printout of that, all the bills. that were paid. I've got the
anybody would
spreadsheet.
come in and look at them, so at the time, it's just easier.
Yeah, some, yeah,
There's a lot to look
trying to
at.
be related to that.
All the utilities related to
They're always
this
available.
should have been expensed to that.
I think we would have been over the 300.
I know, but then it doesn't matter, they should have been expensed to it because that says they're over.
So, yeah,
I mean, that money came out of the general,
yeah, that's what it would have done.
and that's what, yeah, that's what it did. That explains it. That's, yeah.
Here's the road from the drone. No, but it's, I just hope it doesn't rain too much on whatever day it's supposed to rain. Yeah. It's from the drone, that was today. The state, yeah. I'll say the pool. Oh, you guys see. That's from the drone too. How they see like this boom all over. The poles are everywhere. Yeah, right, yeah, because that's a track, right? Really something. I heard that today, that, it might have.
Yeah, it's usually like this, and now it's like this. Yeah,
Yeah.
like an expansion gap, probably usually like this big, and now it's, yeah.
Well, they're gonna be watching that too. They have to assess everything, and anybody go over it. I hope it isn't gonna be something with the bridge too, because people are not like it. Then it's gonna be bad, yeah. Oh, gosh. Call for rain on Tuesday, I don't know how much. $42 on Saturday, that's perfect, because it'll, 50 or 60, they said would be bad. 40 is good, because it's a gradual melt, 38 gradual, so that's good. Well, you don't want it to melt, because you want to go snowmobiling. You haven't had a good winter in years, have you?
Yeah. Buy an ATV.
Now you know what happens with those.
Well,
So you can go snowmobiling in no snow.
you can drive it 12 months over a year.
Seems like, I don't know, it seems like we used to have a whole lot more snow than we do now. Motion to adjourn?
No. We need a motion, write a check to, for the Valentine's for Vets for $125.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So we got a, in that here. Motion, okay, so I have a motion to write a check for Valentine's for Vets. Motion by Gail?
Yep.
Second by Brenda? Okay, so how much is it, Gail?
$125 to Susan Shepler.
Okay, 125 to Susan Shepler for Valentine's. Got that?
Second.
Susan?
Yeah.
For that? Okay, all right. All those in favor?
Aye.
That was all of us, right?
Just to let everybody know, that is Saturday, February 10th, 1 to 3.
Saturday, February 10th. 1 to 3. Okay, motion to adjourn?
No, how about, did we take care of prices and bakers?
Hmm?
Did we take care of,
Yes.
we did.
Yes, we did. Didn't we? Yeah. Okay, motion to adjourn?
I so moved.
Wait, who said it?
Me?
Joan, and you seconded it, Brenda? Okay, wait. Okay, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
5 ayes, okay, thank you, everybody. And I think we did a good job of working together like a team tonight.
Yes. Looking for the photo is good. We'll talk to the secretary and see what we can do. Yeah, I'll try it.